Trump became the president. And now all these people running, praying, praying, praying. Okay, keep praying. I'm not going to tell you not to stop because we do need to pray. But it was written way back when. So between way back when and now, we can't stop praying. We have to increase our prayer, but we got to come together because together we must stand. Now is the time. If we never do it any other time, now is the time. I'm also launching 100 evangelists on the move globally. What is that? Prayer. I'm calling out right now on your show, if you allow me to. 100
Go
evangelists. Call me. Let's go. It's 100 evangelists globally. We want to take prayer all over the world. As I broadcasted in Asia, even in Africa and in China, we want to do this thing globally because the world, what it needs us, it needs prayer, and we need it now.
Okay, y'all heard her. She put out the call. I will have all her links so y'all can answer the call. The call has been made. Okay, you guys? So, willpower, the call to rise above. First of all, this cover. I'm a cover girl. Simple but powerful. How did you come up with the idea of this eagle soaring through the cloud break for your book?
Well, the thing about an eagle, he is one of the birds that actually can fly above the storm. He is made aware of the storm before anybody else knows. So what he does when that storm faces, he takes his wings and he spreads them and he mounts up, as the Bible tells us to mount up with wings as eagle, because he uses those wings for strength. And I had gone through so many, I would say, circumstances. There were many challenges. I had been disappointed. I had been hurt. I had been made ashamed of. People turned their backs on me that I was counting on. And so, through all of my life turmoil at that particular point, I began, through the grace of God, to find that strength. And I didn't realize it at the time because all I was seeing was the clouds. But there was something lingering above that cloud. And the revelation came to me. It was that eagle. So I began to realize that I had strength too, but I just had to reach up and use what was given to me. And that was that strength, just like the eagle, as he said, mount up with wings of eagles. And so we had to begin to fly out of those circumstances because as humans, we get caught up in the circumstances and situations, but we don't have to be stuck there. We have to learn to get up out, and that goes back to what I said. You have to believe in yourself, and at that time, that was a faith walk for me. I had to believe that I was better than that circumstance.
All right now. So, how did this book come about? What made you want to write Willpower?
Well, what made me really want to write it again goes back to some really horrific circumstances that I had gone through, the loss of both parents, um, moving to an area that I pretty much didn't want to be here because I had no friends. I had moved away from the only family that I knew, the only real friends that I knew. So it was like starting all over, but as an adult. And I came here to South Carolina from Philadelphia, and it was so, so, so different. And I mean, the things that were happening to me, it was a real struggle. And so I remember one Sunday after coming home from church service, I was so inspired. I was just so lifted. My spirit was overjoyed, and I wanted to do something. And when I went to school, I studied journalism, and I wanted to be this international journalist that just went to different places and found out what their problems were and how come they couldn't resolve them. And so this day, all of that came back to me. And I called a friend up and we were having a conversation. She said, "Why don't you write it?" And I was like, yeah, right. And I sat down and I tell you, honestly, I couldn't stop writing. And
Oh
so
my.
that's how Willpower became the book that it is. That rise above was for me because I had to get up out of where I was. I couldn't stay in Boulevard destruction. I couldn't walk that walk because I wasn't born to be destructive. I was born to be instructed. And so being instructed meant that I had an assignment and I knew God had called me for a purpose.
Mm. Do you feel as if you're talking about that word